Italy is not one place. It's 20 regions with 20 completely different climates, costs, cultures, and property markets. Calabria and Lombardy share a country and almost nothing else. Sicily and Piedmont are in the same nation, but could be different continents. This matters enormously if you're thinking about living, retiring, or investing here, because the difference between choosing the right and wrong region can be the difference between an extraordinary life and an expensive mistake. I'm ranking the 12 best regions based on cost of living, property values, rental yields, quality of life, and access to Italy's residency pathways. Let's go. Full regional guide, costs, property prices, residency details is in the description. Grab it. Italy residency in 2026. 3 main routes to Italian residency. The elective residency visa, €31,000, annual passive income for a single applicant. The digital nomad visa introduced in 2024, €28,000 annual remote income. And the flat tax for high net worth individuals, €100,000 per year, covers all foreign source income regardless of amount, making Italy one of Europe's most attractive destinations for wealthy international residents. Now, the regions. Number 12, Calabria. Calabria is the toe of Italy's boot, and it's one of the most affordable beachfront destinations in all of Western Europe. Apartments on the Tropea coast, one of Italy's most beautiful beaches, still trade under €80,000. Monthly cost of living, well under €1,400. It's the real, unspoiled Southern Italian experience. Strong food culture, warm people, extraordinary landscape, without the tourist prices of Sicily or Puglia. The Silla National Park sits in the interior and offers dramatic mountain scenery a short drive from the coast. The limitations are real: limited international transport links, slower economic development, and public services below northern Italian standards. For retirees and remote workers who don't need to commute internationally, those limitations matter less. Number 11. Sicily. Sicily is Italy's largest region, and culturally its richest. Palermo, Catania, Taormina, Agrigento. The Valley of the Temples, the ancient Greek theater at Taormina with Etna as a backdrop. No other region packs this density of UNESCO sites and cultural weight. Property in Western Sicily remains very affordable, and the island hosts more €1 house programs than anywhere else in Italy. Monthly costs run €1,500 to €1,800. Catania is the most functional city for long-term living, with an international airport and a growing university community. Healthcare is below northern Italian standards, but improving. The main practical challenge is connectivity. Getting off the island quickly requires planning, and domestic transport infrastructure is inconsistent. Number 10, Puglia. Puglia has been discovered but hasn't yet peaked. Lecce is often called the Florence of the South. Baroque architecture, a vibrant student population, and a food scene that's genuinely exceptional even by Italian standards. The Valle di Tria, with its Trulli houses, and Ostuni, the White City, are among Italy's most photogenic destinations. Property prices have risen as international attention has grown, but they remain far below Tuscany. Monthly costs, €1,600 to €2,000. Rental demand from short-term tourism is strong, making Puglia one of the more interesting regions for property investment alongside lifestyle. The main consideration is summer heat. July and August in Puglia are intense, and transport outside the main cities requires a car. But for those who embrace the lifestyle, Puglia is exceptional value. Number 9, Abruzzo. Abruzzo is the mountain region that most people ignore, and that's exactly why it belongs on this list. A third of the region is protected national park. making it one of the greenest in Europe. You can ski in the morning and be on the Adriatic in the afternoon. Pesco Costanzo and Sulmona are two of the most beautiful medieval towns in Italy. Property is among the most affordable in central Italy, and the region is attracting growing attention from international buyers who've been priced out of Tuscany and Umbria. Monthly costs, €1,500 to €1,900. Pescara provides a functional modern city with an airport and rail connections to Rome. Abruzzo sits within 2 hours of Rome, close enough for convenience, far enough to be genuinely different. For those who want nature, authenticity, and affordability in central Italy, it's hard to beat. Number 8, Umbria. Umbria is what Tuscany was 30 years ago. Rolling hills, medieval hilltop towns, first-class olive oil and wine, and property prices at roughly 40% below comparable Tuscan properties. Assisi, Spoleto, Orvieto, Todi, all extraordinary. Perugia is a proper university city with a strong expat community and good transport links. Monthly costs in Umbria, €1,700 to €2,100. The region has been quietly attracting international buyers and retirees for 2 decades. It doesn't have Tuscany's tourist infrastructure, which for many people is a feature rather than a bug. The international airport at Perugia connects to several European cities, though less frequently than Florence or Rome. For those wanting the Tuscan experience without the Tuscan price tag, Umbria is the answer. Number 7, Sardinia. Sardinia is one of Europe's great underlived islands. Outside the Costa Smeralda tourist zone, which is genuinely expensive and genuinely beautiful. Properties are affordable, and the lifestyle is exceptional. Cagliari is a real city. International airport, university, good healthcare, functioning infrastructure. Monthly costs in Cagliari or the interior, €1,800 to €2,200. The island is safe, clean, and has some of the most extraordinary beaches in Europe. The Nuraghe ruins, Bronze Age stone towers unique to Sardinia, give it a historical depth that most Italian islands lack. The consideration is isolation. Being on an island has practical implications for access to specialist healthcare and for frequent business travel. But for those who embrace island living, Sardinia is one of Italy's most rewarding long-term destinations. Moving to Italy means managing money across currencies constantly. Rent, transfers home, utility bills. Revolut makes this seamless. Real exchange rates, multi-currency card, instant transfers. My referral link is in the description. Number 6, Marche is the region between Umbria and the Adriatic, and it somehow combines the best of both. Medieval hill towns, a stretch of Adriatic coast, first-class food, and prices well below the national radar. Ascoli Piceno is one of Italy's most underrated cities, a perfectly preserved Baroque center that almost no one outside Italy has heard of. Monthly costs, €1,600 to €2,000. Marche is increasingly on the radar for international buyers priced out of Tuscany and Umbria. The Urbino, birthplace of Raphael, adds extraordinary cultural weight. The region's coastal strip is genuinely beautiful and far less developed than the Adriatic coast further south. Connectivity is the main consideration. Ancona Airport serves a limited number of international routes. But for those with flexibility on travel, Marche offers an exceptional combination of quality and value. Number 5, Emilia-Romagna, Bologna, Parma, Modena, Ferrara, Ravenna. Emilia-Romagna is Italy's food capital and one of its most economically dynamic regions. Bologna is one of Europe's great university cities, a city that's been a center of learning since the 11th century. The arcaded streets are UNESCO listed. Property is more expensive than the south, but the infrastructure is first class. Monthly costs in Bologna, €2,000 to €2,600. Bologna's international airport has expanded significantly, and the high-speed rail links to Milan, Florence, and Rome are excellent. For those prioritizing career or business alongside lifestyle, this region belongs at the top. The food alone might justify it. Parmigiano Reggiano, prosciutto di Parma, mortadella, tagliatelle al ragù, lambrusco wine. Italy's culinary capital is not a marketing tagline, it's a fact. Number 4, Lombardy. Lombardy is Italy's economic engine and remains the natural choice for anyone relocating for professional reasons. Milan is one of Europe's great cities. Finance, fashion, design, excellent international connectivity. Lake Como and Lake Garda are within an hour and offer some of the most extraordinary living environments in Europe. Property is expensive by Italian standards, but competitive against London, Paris, Amsterdam, or Zurich. Monthly costs in Milan, €2,500 to €3,500. Outside Milan, in towns like Como, Bergamo, or Brescia, costs drop substantially while the quality of life remains high. For the internationally mobile professional who needs to be in a global business hub, Lombardy is the answer in Italy. For everyone else, the regions below offer better value. Number 3, Tuscany. Tuscany has been discovered for 40 years and remains extraordinary. Florence is one of the world's great cities. The Chianti wine country, the hilltop towns of Siena and San Gimignano, the Maremma coast, the variety within a single region is remarkable. The expat infrastructure here is the best in Italy, with established communities and excellent English language services. Property is expensive, but holds its value reliably. Tuscany is a global brand in real estate. Monthly costs in smaller Tuscan towns, €2,000 to €2,800. Florence itself is higher, the classic choice, and still absolutely worth it. For investment, Tuscany's property market is driven by international demand that makes it relatively resilient. Rental yields from agriturismo and holiday letting can be strong, though planning permissions and restoration costs require careful management. Number 2, Piedmont. Piedmont is where serious Italy watchers have been pointing for a decade. Turin is a spectacular Baroque city at roughly half the cost of Milan, with world-class museums, a vibrant food scene, and the Alps starting at its doorstep. The Lenchi and Monferrato wine regions, UNESCO listed, produce Barolo and Barbaresco, two of the world's greatest red wines, and property in the vineyards is still accessible. Monthly costs in Turin, €1,800 to €2,400. The international expat community in Piedmont is growing but still small enough that it doesn't feel overrun. Alba's white truffle season in autumn is one of the greatest food experiences in Europe. For investors, the wine country is attracting boutique hotel and agriturismo investment at prices far below comparable Tuscany or Umbria assets. Piedmont is still early in its international recognition cycle. Number 1, Liguria, Italian Riviera. Liguria takes the top spot for lifestyle, and it's not close. The Italian Riviera, the Cinque Terre, Portofino, Santa Margherita Ligure, San Remo, is simply one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world. Pastel fishing villages clinging to cliff sides above the Ligurian Sea. The light, the food, the olive oil, Liguria produces some of the finest in Italy. Property is expensive along the coast, but inland towns like Dolcetqua, Puglia, and Triora remain very accessible. You're 20 minutes from the sea and paying a fraction of Riviera prices. Monthly costs in smaller Ligurian towns, €1,900 to €2,500. The proximity to France, Monaco, and Geneva via the A10 motorway makes it uniquely positioned for international residents with ties to Northern Europe. For investors, Ligurian property along the Riviera has delivered strong capital appreciation over the past decade, and short-term rental demand from international tourists is consistent. It's the top spot for a reason. When you first arrive in Italy, you're not yet enrolled in the national health system. Safety Wing fills that gap. Global medical coverage month to month. Cancel anytime. Link below. 12 regions, 12 different versions of Italy. Which one resonates? Drop it in the comments and tell me why. Full regional guide with costs, property prices, and residency details for all 12 is in the description. Subscribe for weekly expat and investment content. Next video, how to actually apply for Italian residency. Step by step. See you there. Moving to Italy means your home streaming services and banking can temporarily lock you out. NordVPN solves both instantly. Link in the description.